We are going to continue with the next section of our book where we are working in 1-point perspective. 1-point perspective, and in this one we're going to be creating some three-dimensional letters. All right, so whenever you're working in 1-point perspective, there's two parts that you definitely need, and that is you need to have a horizon line. Okay, and the horizon line is an imaginary line where the sky meets the land. Okay, so we can imagine this as a seascape, and there's the sky up here, and there's the water down here. Okay, so that's if you were doing a landscape, you need to have a horizon line. And then we also need our 1 point. And so for this one, I'm going to put the 1 point right toward the center of the square. It doesn't have to be the exact center, just roughly in the center of the square. And that is called our vanishing point. And you can, you don't have to write this on your paper, but just so you know for future reference, that is called the vanishing point. And it's called the vanishing point because it's where everything sort of disappears into the background. As things go farther and farther and farther away, they disappear to the background or to the vanishing point. Now, you can either do the letters that you see here, the O and the E. It's good to have letters that have sort of circle shapes or curved shapes like S's, and then also more block shapes, just so you get a feel for creating both of those shapes in 3 dimensions. I'm going to write out, or you could also do you could have your initials of your name. I'm going to write out a word, just like the sculptor that did what's called the love sculpture. I'll write the word love. Now, you don't want your letters to be right over top of your vanishing point. Otherwise, it doesn't create as much of the illusion if you have your letters right on top of the vanishing point. Or right on the horizon line. It will still work. It's just that it creates more of an illusion if your work appears to be floating above the horizon line or is down here well below the horizon line and on the ground. So I'm just writing out, and again, you could do your initials. If you want to create a word, create a word. And so then I'm also going to do the E down here in this lower right. And you'll see that I'm writing out the letters in what's called block letters. I'm just sort of lightly sketching them in for now. All right, so I have my letters drawn out. Now I'm going to start to create the three-dimensional look to them. And what I want to do is, so again, think about what side of the letter is facing the vanishing point. What sides are facing the vanishing point? So over here on the L, it's right here, and here, and here, and here. These are the sides or the edges that are facing, going toward the vanishing point. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to make those little points on the corners or just little dots, and I'm going to join those up. Okay, so right now, all my letters are going to just go all the way into the vanishing point. It's like they go on and on and on forever. And then in a moment, I'll show you how to make the end parts. Now with the O, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the vanishing point, because you see there's no corners on a circle or an O. This will be the same on an S, all right? So I'm going to draw this line a little bit better. And with this one, I'm going to start at the vanishing point, and then I'm going to move my ruler. See, I'm moving my ruler until I hit an edge of the O. So again, I'm holding the pencil on the vanishing point. I'm moving the ruler till it gets right to the edge of the O, right there. Bam. And then same on this side, I'm going to move the ruler till it gets right to the edge of the O there. Boom. Okay. Now, while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to create the ends of the L and the O. So I'll start with the L. So whenever you have something that's like this, like a line that is a horizontal line, okay, I'm going to match up the ruler to that horizontal line, and then I'm going to slide the ruler down. Again, I'm not angling. Don't angle like this. I'm just going to take the ruler, I'm going to slide it down like this, until however far or deep that I want the letter to go into space. And then I'm going to draw the line right there. So whatever this line is doing, this line is doing. If this is horizontal, this is horizontal, okay? If this is vertical, like this one right here, this part of the letter is vertical, now I'm going to slide the ruler over, keeping it vertical till I get right here to that corner that I just made. Keep it vertical. So you see how this creates a 90 degree, this creates a 90 degree angle. All right, now using that same depth, I'm going to come over here. This is a vertical line. I'm going to slide the ruler over till about the same depth or so and make another vertical line. So that means the rest of these lines are just the extra. So I don't need those anymore. So there's my L that's sort of floating above the horizon line. Now with the O, it's a little bit more tricky, because remember I talked about whatever that line is doing here, if it's horizontal, then it's horizontal here. Well, with the O, the same rule applies. So you see, with this one, I don't need the ruler because it's a curved line. So this is curved right here. I need to move down however thick. I'm going to make it the same thickness of this letter here. And then I need to do the same curve to create that three-dimensional aspect. So the same curve here. So curves here, all right? Then on the inside, that same depth there, I could also have something like this is going back into space, right? So I'm going to have just a small curve here. Remember, if this is curved, this will be curved. I'm creating that depth. We can see all the way through the letter O there. And then this becomes extra. All right, so those are the first two letters there of the word love here. We've got the L and the O. Again, you can do your initials, you could choose other letters. The same rules would apply here for the V and the E. The dots that I would put on the V and the E, it would be here, here. And again, is that facing, is that going to draw a line? Probably not, because it goes behind it. So I'm going to skip that one here and here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's just those 4 that are going to be going toward the horizon line because of the placement of the V. And then over here, this is the side of the E right here, 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 also here, and here. Those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines would be going toward the horizon line. Remember with the E, something like this with the E, when it goes to the letter, when it hits the letter, like right here on this part, when it hits the letter, it stops because it's going behind there, all right? So again, I'm just going to quickly do this E because we have that overlap. Again, the point to points are going all the way to that vanishing point. And again, when I get to like this and it's going to a vanishing point, but then it hits the letter, it's going to stop right there. boom, it stops because it goes behind the letter. Okay, and so again, the same rules would apply, like those endpoints. Okay, if this is vertical, this is horizontal, this will be horizontal. If this is vertical, this will be vertical. Okay. All right. So if you need any help with this, let me know. Again, you can rewatch the video again and again to get some of the pointers on how to create these 3D letters.